Hey there, this is Michael with DrawingTeachers.com. Let's draw the word mom in graffiti letters. We'll start with just drawing a straight set of line letters. Write out the word mom. So go ahead and get that step done, and then let's go ahead and turn these into bubble letters. We'll do that by drawing large ovals around the sticks or the straight parts of our line letters, and just keep working each one. Now for the O, I'll just make a slightly bigger O, and then fill in a center, and draw this lightly because we'll go back over this with pen, so you'll want to erase these lines once we're done. So now we're done with this part, and if you need to, go ahead and pause the video while we get ready for the next step, and that will be to refine our outlines. So I'm going to come back in here and just carefully choose which line I want. And next we're going to come in with a pen. I'm using a brush style pen. It's made by Prismacolor, and it is a brush tip marker, but any black marker will probably work. The brush tip marker is fairly soft, and it allows a little bit of a thick and thin in your stroke. Now it's good to always turn the paper so that you're pulling the line towards you, and you can build in small segments. Just keep pulling towards you and turn the paper in an orientation where you can keep doing that. And once we get the M here, we'll go ahead and speed up and get through the other letters. Okay, we're in high speed mode now. As you can see, we're going to finish up this M and kick in the middle of the O. Continue to turn that paper to orient it in a way that you can pull that stroke right towards you with the marker. Helps you to get a nice smooth line. And you can see this paper is just going around and around. We're just about done with the M, and then we're going to slow back down, and you can pause the video and go ahead and get your word mom outlined. Okay, now it's time to clean up. I've got an eraser here. It's a pink pearl eraser, and I prefer a large eraser like this. You can pick that up probably at the school supply section in your grocery store, or definitely at your art store. You could also use a white eraser. So let's go ahead and speed through the rest of the erasing. Okay, and now for the cleanup, I like to use a paintbrush. It keeps you from smearing the surface, and any paintbrush really, nice soft paintbrush that you might paint the house with, it's fine. And go ahead and clean up that way. And I've got a few more little bit of lines that I want to get erased, and just a moment here we'll finish this all up. Okay, now we're going to add a drop shadow. And to do a drop shadow, you need to copy the curves of your letters off to one side, and we're kicking off to the left here. And so you kind of imagine that this is casting a shadow onto the paper. It'll really be the shape of the letter right behind and off to one side. This is going to be a little off to the left and below. And you just need to mimic that curve, and we'll continue on here, and we'll speed through this part to get to the end, and then you can go ahead and match that. Well, before we do that, let's see, the inside of the O here can be a little tricky. You want to catch that like that. I think this needs a little correction down here. Curve that up there. And we're almost done here with the M. With the second M. Take your time, get the curve right. Don't forget the tops. And that's cheating up just a little bit there. It wouldn't probably be quite that high, but I want to show it around the back side there, so I'm going to go ahead and pencil that in. And you can pause the video here and get yourself caught up to this step before we start using the marker again to fill it in. Okay, now take your marker and let's come back in and we'll go over these pencil lines. Again, turning that paper in a way that helps you pull that line towards yourself. Alright, go ahead and pause the video and get caught up to this stage. Now let's start coloring our graffiti letter Mom. I've chosen a bright pink marker and I'm going to draw a line on the right hand side of the letters, just inset from the edge, and this will mark off the highlight area, which will be just to the right of this, and help serve as a guide for coloring in the letters. So I like to go ahead and put this mark in. And if you are painting letters or using markers, you have to use slightly different techniques. With paint, especially with spray paints or airbrush paints, you can go back in and you can put in white highlights. But with the case of markers, you pretty much have to block out your white highlights to begin with. Now I'm going to come back in here and go ahead and color in the base of your letters, and I like to use a sweeping upward motion. Again, turn the paper in a way that will help me to draw these lines in a consistent way. I think one of the neat things about graffiti letters is to make cool marks with them, have fun with them. I don't feel like they have to be ultra perfect, because to me they're about expression and energy, and so I don't mind seeing some lines in there. You can color them to suit your taste though, make them nice and smooth, or make marks like this. So go ahead and get cut up to this stage, and we'll get another pink, and we'll come in and shade the middle in with a lighter color pink. Of course you can make your letters any color you want. I just chose pink because I think it sort of suits a mom. Probably wouldn't do pink dad letters. We'll do a set of dad letters hopefully in the future, and maybe make those blue and green or something. Okay, we'll shift now to high speed coloring and go ahead and fill in the inside of those letters, and then come back around to the top part and fill in a little bit on the top headed down, but leaving a sort of a white part there in the middle. And then I'm going to come in with another set of markers, but go ahead and get caught up to this. And now we'll come in with another set of markers. I'm using sort of a peachy, fleshy color to come in here and fill in this white part. Okay, now I'm going to come in with a purple and just hit the bottom of the letters to emphasize them. You can use a little stroke there to define the bottom of that O, and just color in a little bit of dark purple down there. Okay, now I'm coming back in with the medium pink, and I'm just going to come in right inside the outline of these letters, and as I come around here I'm going to leave part of that highlight, and then stroke in here a little bit. This is a shadow, a little bit of a shadow from the one letter overlapping the other, and coming in and leaving that highlight on the right side, not so worried about the left side. Coming around that letter, I need to move that paper back in the middle under the camera. It'll come over in just a second. There it goes. Excellent. And now, almost done with these. And you can go ahead and pause the video and get caught up to that step. Now we're going to come in with a purple. And we're going to just hatch here in the drop shadow area. I like to try to keep my strokes all very consistent in the drop shadow. It gives it a nice look when you can see the texture of the marker strokes. Now for a little high-speed coloring. We'll get that filled in very quickly. Take your time getting it done nice and neatly though. And there's the step. And we're going to come back in now with a darker purple, and I'm just going to hatch in some spaced lines here. Maybe do little clusters of 3 and 4 lines, and then jump and do a couple more. And I just like the way this gives an extra textured look to the drop shadow. It's probably more of an effect you would use in a 3D letter, but I like the energy of it. So just come in here and hatch away at that. Okay, now we're going to get some outlines around our graffiti letters, and we'll come in with a sort of medium pink marker here, and we'll just go ahead and pull a stroke around the entire set, including the drop shadow. And if this graffiti were on a wall or something, this would help set it off from the background. We'll also be adding a background cloud and some other effects. So go ahead and pause and get caught up here. Now we'll come in with a purple next, and we'll go ahead and outline it again with this purple. So we have a double outline. We'll go into high speed mode and get this finished up. And when we're done here, go ahead and pause and get caught up. Alright, now we're going to come in and do some stars or sparkles. And for that, you just draw some quick straight lines. And probably helps best if you pull those lines out from the center. If you feel like you have good control over the pen, you can pull them straight. We're going in high speed mode here now. And now, but we're going to add a cloud next. The trick with the cloud is to stop now and then pull your hump off of the side of a previous hump. And there, we've got the cloud done. Now I'm going to come in and do a little bit with the sparkles with a little darker pink, and just draw some bursting lines out from the center. And there we have our sparkles. And now come in with a light blue color to fill in the cloud background. And here I'm not coming up all the way to the edge of the outline. I'm leaving a little white. That'll serve sort of as a highlight area. You could color this in solid, but I'm going to just be coloring it in with a lot of curves and little lines and hatching. So we'll get into high speed mode here in a second. A little shading underneath the letters, a little bit of a shadow effect there. Do an outline of the letters again with this blue now, and then come back in and draw some just curves and lines into the background. And there we have our finished piece. The only thing I forgot to do was fill in the middle of that O, and you can get that done, and you'll have yours finished too. I hope you enjoyed this lesson on doing graffiti mom letters, and be sure and visit us at drawingteachers.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, How to Draw and Paint, and leave us some comments. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you'd like to see, and we'll see if we can get a video made for you. Have a great day and keep drawing.